So, how to stop fighting the same fight over and over, the pattern that you can't see. So, you've had this argument 50 times. The words might be different, but the feeling is identical. He shuts down, you escalate. You pursue, he withdraws. You need to talk it through, he needs space. And no matter how many times you promise yourselves it'll be different next time, you end up right back here, exhausted, disconnected, wondering why two intelligent, loving people can't seem to break out of this loop. Here's why: you're not fighting about what you think you're fighting about. You think it's about the dishes, the schedule, the money, the in laws, but those are just the triggers. What you're actually fighting about is the meaning you've assigned to those triggers. And that meaning comes from words, wounds that have nothing to do with this moment or this individual. This pattern has 6 steps, and you're trapped in all of them. Step 1, the trigger. Something happens. It's usually small. Maybe he's late. Maybe she sighs or yawns. He doesn't respond to a text fast enough. She mentions something about his family. The trigger itself is almost never the real problem. Step 2, the emotion. The trigger activates an emotion. And here's what most people miss: the emotion isn't about right now. It's about every other time you've felt this way. When she feels unseen, it's not just about tonight, it's about every time in her life when she's felt invisible, unimportant, easy to forget. When he feels criticized, it's not just about her tone, it's about every time he's felt like he's failing, like nothing he ever does is good enough. Step 3, the meaning. Now, your brain takes that emotion and creates a story. He doesn't care about me. She thinks I'm incompetent. I'm not a priority. I'll never be good enough. And here's the kicker: the meaning is almost always a lie. But in that moment, your nervous system believes it's the truth. Step 4, the defense. When we feel threatened, we protect ourselves, and we do it in predictable ways based on our wiring. Those with more masculine energy typically shut down and withdraw. I need to get away from this feeling. If I stay here, I'll lose myself completely. Those with more feminine energy typically pursue and intensify. I need you to feel this with me. If you leave now, I'll know you don't care. Step 5, the counter defense. Now, his withdrawal makes her pursue harder because his distance triggers her abandonment wounds. And her pursuit makes him shut down more because her intensity triggers his shame. He thinks, no matter what I do, it's never enough. She thinks, if he loved me, he'd be here. Step 6, the disconnection. Eventually, you both give up. You withdraw into separate corners. You stop trying, and you tell yourselves, this relationship is broken, never seeing that you're both just stuck in a pattern. Neither of you knows how to interrupt. Here's how you break this loop. You name it out loud, in the moment. When you feel the pattern starting, you pause, you take a breath, and instead of blaming your partner, you name the pattern. You say, we're in the loop. This isn't about you. This isn't about me. This is the pattern. That simple phrase does 3 things. It removes blame, it creates space, and it reminds both of you that you're on the team fighting the same enemy, which isn't each other, it's the pattern. Then you regulate your nervous systems before you continue, because you cannot solve an emotional problem from a dysregulated state. What happens is when your amygdala is firing off, your prefrontal cortex just goes offline. And your prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain where you make rational decisions. When you are triggered and you're in a state of fight or flight, which is a dysregulated nervous system, then you are not going to be able to have those adult conversations while you remain triggered. So you breathe, you soften, you reconnect with the truth that this individual loves me even when it doesn't feel like it right now. And then, only then, do you address what actually happened. Not the story that your wound created, not the meaning that your fear assigned, but what actually happened. You were late and I felt scared. My tone was sharp and you felt attacked. Just the facts without the layers or the buts, and certainly without those meanings that turn small moments into relationship ending catastrophes. The pattern will try to pull you back in. That's its job. It's been running your relationship for years and it doesn't want to be interrupted. But every time you name it, every time you pause instead of react, every time you choose connection over being right, you weaken its grip.